Hi, I'm Natasha. I'm the founder of Youth Untroubled, the organisation behind the ISTAC model, which stands for Intensive Systemic Therapy Around the Child.
ISTAC is a community-based treatment programme developed in accordance with NICE guidelines to treat antisocial behaviour, chronic conduct disorder and complex emotional and behavioural difficulties in children and young people. It is a cost-effective, evidence-based alternative to out-of-home placements.
We're currently facing a national crisis. Whilst out-of-home placement is sometimes the only option, thousands of children are being removed from their families unnecessarily, when more could be done to support parents to overcome their challenges and keep their children at home.
Today, there are more than 80,000 children in care in the UK, and this figure is predicted to rise to over 100,000 by 2030. Children in foster care experience an average of 4 placement breakdowns, and the outcomes for them are devastating. 1 in 3 are not in education, employment or training. They are 6 times more likely to go to prison, and between 4 and 5 times more likely to attempt suicide in adulthood.
Our children are not just being placed in foster care at an alarming rate. 450 young people are in custody or secure facilities at any given time, and 3,500 are admitted to CAMHS units every year. Why? Because there's a lack of evidence-based community alternatives to safeguard and support them.
While some children do require inpatient admission to address acute mental health crises, admissions very rarely address the multiple contributing factors that actually led to a child being admitted in the first place. As a result, 30% of children are readmitted to another inpatient unit after discharge. When we know that inpatient admission significantly affects the whole of family life, it disrupts education, and children find it very hard to readjust to their normal lives once they've been discharged, surely this has to change.
And the cost to society is huge. It can cost £6,000 per week for a child in care and over £800 a day for an inpatient bed. As much as £288,000 per child per year is being spent on out-of-home placements. That is a staggering £23 billion per year, and those figures are rising.
There is a solution, and it works. The ISTAC model was devised in 2017 by the Youth Untroubled team. It's an adaptation of multisystemic therapy, developed to better meet the needs of families with complex and multiple problems.
The model has been commissioned by local authorities and mental health trusts across London, as well as forensic CAMHS. We are piloting in the south of England, and we are currently in the process of a national rollout.
ISTAC is a 12 to 14-month bespoke therapy programme. Our highly skilled therapists provide 24/7 support and use evidence-based interventions to actually address the root causes of the problems that led to the child being at risk of placement, instead of providing a sticking plaster that can often cause more harm than good. ISTAC therapists go into family homes and work intensively with parents and wider networks to actually prevent children being placed outside the family homes or transition them home safely.
Not only does the ISTAC approach keep children safe and thriving at home, we create sustainable change for families, empowering them to overcome complex, deep-rooted and intergenerational struggles.
Before I joined the team, I worked alongside Youth Untroubled colleagues and the commissioners for the model for years. I saw firsthand the transformative impact they can have on families and children. I have little doubt this is a highly effective model at supporting families with children on the edge of care and at preventing unnecessary mental health admissions. The therapists are highly skilled at empowering parents to give the best to themselves, to their children, often when others have lost hope on them. Their outcomes speak for themselves.
Recent stats showed that by the end of ISTAC, 89% of young people were in education, 95% had committed no further offences, and 91% were living at home. All of these outcomes were sustained at 6-month follow-up.
In a study by the Youth Endowment Fund, published in 2023, parents said that they experienced intensive, flexible support where and when they needed it. That therapy focused on the key issues they actually needed help with, and that therapists never judged them. They never felt labelled as bad parents. And they said it helped them to engage better with other services. In this study, parents said it was better than any other service they'd experienced, and all of them said they would recommend it.
Before we began the therapy, we were at rock bottom as a family. The plan was life-changing for all of us. It was as if we'd been living in darkness for a really long time and finally the sun had come out again. If I had to think of one word to describe the process and the impact that the process had on my son, myself and my family, it would be transformative.
The original model was primarily devised to prevent out-of-home placements for children and young people with complex emotional and behavioural difficulties, including child-to-parent violence, offending, absconding behaviours and school refusal, as well as eating disorders and self-harming behaviours, usually that would fall to CAMS. However, we have since developed multiple adaptations of the original ISTAC model.
It's very intensive. Therapists can be in the family home and are available on call to the family and the whole network all of the time. We don't just dole out parenting strategies. We devise bespoke interventions that are specifically devised to actually address the problems.
Well, that's what we do best. Our small caseloads and ability to work flexibly means that our therapists have the time, energy and expertise to carefully overcome difficulties for engagement. We work with all sorts of parents with a range of different issues, including domestic violence, mental health issues, substance misuse and trauma.
We work with whoever we need to affect change, primarily parents, but also grandparents, foster carers, residential workers, aunts, uncles, the next door neighbour if we need to. We do also provide direct intervention to children where it's clinically indicated, but a child's willingness to engage wouldn't affect suitability for treatment.
ISTAC and all its adaptations is suitable for families with neurodiverse children. We have a very minimal exclusion criteria.
Being able to work so closely with families means we gain such an in-depth understanding of them and their issues. It allows us to continuously assess risk, managing it proportionately and effectively.
Youth Untroubled was set up to facilitate a national rollout of the ISTAC model across health, social care and education. This pioneering intervention should be accessible to all children who are at risk of out-of-home placement, or those who have already been placed out of the home because it seemed like there was no other option. There is another option, and it's ISTAC. If you're interested in Youth Untroubled, providing ISTAC and changing the lives of children and families in your area, we'd love to hear from you.
Because change is possible.